We live in the age of social media where you literally can't check Instagram without feeling like someone's flexing on you. But as you scroll through people's highlight reels, do you ever get the feeling that maybe the influencers that seem to live far better lives than you are just faking it? Well, you might be right about that. I'm about to count down the top 10 influencers exposed for living fake lives, and trust me, you're gonna feel pretty good about yourself when I'm done. Welcome back to another InformOverload Top 10. Somebody stop me! By the way, I'm Charlotte. If you're new here, this is InformOverload. We bring you the freshest news updates on the internet, peppered with a nice medley of saucy top 10s. Delicious! Subscribe so we get to hang out on the regs, follow the IO team on Instagram and Twitter. I promise the vast majority of our hosts are actually cool people. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video for some bonus content. Yay.
The tea is hot!
Alright, let's get into this list. In at 10, Carla Bellucci. 37-year-old Carla Bellucci is a former model and is also known as the UK's most hated influencer. And that's because she faked clinical depression to get a free nose job from the NHS, valued at $14,000 US. That kind of rhymed. She also bragged about it on This Morning, and she said she had no regrets. Carla insists that there are other people who are taking advantage of the NHS because of cracks in the system, and she was coached on what to say. The NHS doesn't always pay for cosmetic surgery, but there have been instances where they do pay for cosmetic surgery for psychological or health reasons. Bellucci also says that her 90,000 Instagram followers regularly send her gifts, and she even tried to crowdfund a $30,000 Brazilian butt lift. That one didn't really work out though, ever since the truth about her came out. In at number 9, Aga Brzezowska. Aga, who's known online as Alicia, is 20 years old and Polish born. From her Instagram photos, she appears to be black. But when a photo of her when she was 13 went viral, showing much lighter skin and a much thinner body, she was accused of blackfishing and cultural appropriation. So blackfishing is a term to describe people who pose as black or mixed race on social media by using makeup, hair products, and sometimes even surgery. Alicia describes herself as being olive skinned and denies the accusations of cultural appropriation. She simply likes fake tanning. A lot. But that is not all. She also sports cornrows on a regular basis, and her style can only be described as urban. You can't deny how different she looked when she was 13, and many have accused her of getting surgery so she looks more like a black woman. Alicia is a micro-influencer with about 25,000 followers, but she has received free clothes and products in exchange for posts. She denies getting surgery to change her body, and she also denies being white. At number 8 on our list, Rob Vanna. Yovana Mendoza, aka Rob Vanna, is a YouTuber famously known for being a vegan. She regularly posts content about her vegan lifestyle. Well, she used to anyway. She had a devoted fan base who would turn to her for tips and inspiration, and she has 1.2 million followers on Instagram. That number actually used to be 1.3 million followers because back in March of 2019 she was exposed after she was seen in another blogger's video eating fish. How dare you! How dare you eat fish! Yovana finally came clean in a 33-minute YouTube video where she tries to explain herself, stating that veganism has been detrimental to her health. She began to lose her menstrual cycles, she was fatigued, and her doctor told her that she had to eat eggs and meat. She was forced to abandon her vegan diet after 6 years and started eating fish and eggs. Since the scandal broke, she's changed her name to Yovana and not Ravana, because that would imply she eats a raw diet. You get what I'm saying. At 7, Emily Ratajkowski. Emily Ratajkowski and her millionaire husband were exposed by their landlord because apparently they don't pay rent. What? They live for free in their NoHo loft in New York thanks to a legal loophole meant to protect struggling artists. Her husband, filmmaker Sebastian Blair McLeod, is worth an estimated $12 million, but apparently he owes his landlord $120,000 because he and his wife are exploiting the loft law, which helps struggling artists and low-income families in need of affordable housing by preventing landlords from kicking them out if they live illegally in commercial loft spaces. This law has been in place since 1982, but as you can probably tell, one of the most famous supermodels in the world and her millionaire husband are not struggling artists. To make matters worse, their landlord reports that they regularly have loud parties until the wee hours of the morning, making it difficult for their neighbors to get a good night's sleep. After the news broke, Emily's comment section on Instagram was filled with nasty remarks from people who are urging her to just like, yo, pay your rent, dude. In at number 6, we got Lisa Lee, the woman who inspired this list. Love you, Lisa. Lisa Lee is a Weibo influencer from China who often flaunts her lavish lifestyle online, as most influencers do. But the problem is, she was like cropping out what her apartment really looked like. Lisa Lee made international news in September of 2019 after her former landlady gave a guided tour of her former apartment. The place was covered in dog excrement, garbage, dust, and it pretty much looked like a landfill. Lisa's landlord felt compelled to expose Lisa for who she really is after Lisa moved out of her property without paying bills, and also apparently without cleaning. After several failed attempts to call her, Lisa's landlady basically had enough and she wanted to show the world what her former tenant was really like. Her apartment was so disgusting that professional cleaners refused to touch it. Like, not even with like rubber gloves, dude. That's saying something. It's like radioactive. Miraculously, Lisa came out of hiding and returned to thousands upon thousands of messages from angry fans who called her a phony. Lisa did end up apologizing to her landlady. She paid her back the unpaid utility costs and also posted a video that shows her cleaning her gross flat. Sweeping up the dog poo. By that time though, it was already too late. Halfway there now at number 5, Your Highness Xiao Bilu. This influencer was a live streamer from China who's known for her sweet and healing voice. She had many generous followers, close to 1 million of them on Douyu, who donated more than $15,000 to her just to watch her. She has the appearance of a young, vivacious woman, but it turns out that she was using a filter all along. A glitch revealed that she's actually a 58-year-old woman. That's awkward. Needless to say, she lost a ton of followers, who were mostly men. Live streaming is a very lucrative business in China. There are around 425 million live streamers who commonly use face filters. They make money by singing karaoke, talking, or eating. But because many of them use face filters, you never know what a Chinese live streamer really looks like. So best keep your money in your pockets, fellas. Huh? At number 4, we've got Caroline Calloway. Caroline Calloway is an American influencer with about 800,000 Instagram followers who found fame through her clever captions and by using the hashtag AdventureGram. But it turns out that her huge following might be totally fake. In a tell-all essay written by Caroline Calloway's ex-best friend, Natalie Beach, she was exposed for taking out ads designed to look like posts to promote her Instagram. And she bought tens of thousands of fake followers to make it seem like she had a way bigger following than she actually had. But that's not all Caroline was lying about. Natalie Beach claims that she helped Caroline write her always witty and hilarious captions, and almost half of her proposal for her unwritten memoir. The story goes that Caroline was told by literary professionals that no one would ever buy a memoir from someone with no following and no claim to fame. That's fair enough. So she went ahead and she created the fame herself. She ended up landing a $375,000 book deal and got $500,000 in advance to write her memoir about being an influencer. She never credited her friend Natalie for doing a huge chunk of the writing for her. Gotta hand it to Caroline. She fooled everyone, but she never went ahead with her book deal. She's widely known now as a scammer, and she owes her publisher over $100,000. Getting close now at number 3, Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau, aka YouTube's Queen of Clout, recently married fellow clout chaser Jake Paul in a lavish wedding in Las Vegas. After the wedding, there were a lot of people coming out of the woodwork to say that the wedding was kind of fake. First of all, it wasn't registered in the state of Nevada, where the wedding took place, so there's your first red flag. Big red flag. Also, the couple didn't leave their wedding together either. Kind of weird. So that's another red flag. At the time, Tana took to Twitter to shut down rumors about her wedding being fake. But a few days later, she actually admitted that the whole thing was a sham in an episode of her YouTube show, Tana Turns 21. She said, I quote, "I think we are all trying to piece together the puzzles of what we actually want this engagement and marriage to be. I have a lot of love for him, but it's still something fun and lighthearted that we're obviously doing for fun and content." I mean, obviously you're just doing it for fun and content. So when Tana admitted this, people were pretty angry about it. A lot of people paid a lot of money to watch that wedding. I think it was like $50 or something to stream it. So Tana went on Twitter to explain herself. She said, "I understand people's frustrations with the soundbite from the show, and it's the last thing I want to talk about right now, but obviously I just uploaded an 8-minute YouTube video on how much I love Jake, and I'm not trying to look like that much of a sociopath." In further tweets, she basically said that the soundbite from the MTV show was taken out of context, and she didn't actually admit that her marriage was fake. So she still wants people to believe that she and Jake Paul are married. I highly doubt that. In at our number 2 spot, Danielle Khan. Danielle. We couldn't do a list like this without featuring Danielle Khan. With 3.7 million followers on Instagram and 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube, Danielle Khan is probably one of the best known controversial social media influencers in the world. And that is because, for a long time, no one knew her real age. She claimed online that she was 15 years old, but there were numerous YouTube videos made to expose her real age, which is actually 13. Then recently, Danielle Cohn's own father came forward to expose the truth about Danielle's real age because he was worried about her safety. Companies like YouTube, Fashion Nova, Instagram, BuzzFeed, Universal, Target, and Bang energy drinks were okay with child exploitation. What I mean by that is Danielle's photos are often scantily clad. She regularly wears bikinis and lingerie and has been doing so since she was only 11. All the while, the companies she's partnering with are profiting off of her young age. But Danielle's age is not the only part about her that she's faking to get attention. Oh shit, I went there. Danielle Cohn has faked her marriage to Mikey Tua as well as a pregnancy in 2019, and she admitted that it was just for fun. And are you ready for number 1? We got Miss Lil Tay. Oh girlfriend, I haven't talked about Lil Tay in a minute. I kinda miss Lil Tay. Don't you guys? Okay, so if you don't know who Lil Tay is, she was a foul-mouthed Asian child rapper and internet star that shot to stardom on Instagram because she would swear and use the N-word. She had more than 1 million followers on the platform who would make jokes out of trolling her videos where Lil Tay would pose as this like rich 9-year-old girl. She'd throw $100 bills at the camera, use racial slurs, sit in Lambos, and show off her impressive living quarters. How did a 9-year-old pretend rapper afford those dope apartments? Well, it turns out that online persona was all just a cash grab. Her older brother was the mastermind behind Lil Tay, and he would be directing her when the cameras weren't rolling. She staged fake fights with fellow internet flexer Bad Baby and Lil Vicky. The lavish apartments she was showing off, yeah, it turns out that her mother's a real estate agent in Vancouver, and she would let her daughter use her expensive listings in her videos. Oh yeah, and she got in trouble for that too apparently. Lil Tay actually ended up deleting her social media after her father intervened. He disapproved of Lil Tay's online persona and got rid of it for good. No one knows what Lil Tay is up to now, but I'm assuming she's living a normal life under strict adult supervision. Alright, there you have it. Did I miss anybody? I feel like I did. I feel like there's a lot of these. Let's face it, no one is who they seem to be on social media. Do you guys want a part 2? Let me know in those comments. And while you do that, it is time for some comment features. Like my song? These comments were from my last top 10 YouTube channels that might be shutting down this year. Pastel Kitty said, why was Onesian not on this list? Well, Pastel Kitty, that is a good question. I have looked into the whole Onision, I really don't care. And to be honest, the story is pretty controversial, so controversial that it's going to be a difficult topic for us to cover at all without risking demonetization or a strike on our channel. So there's that old hat. Also, I just don't really feel like giving him press. The dude said, I feel like YouTube is gonna eventually end itself with the way they've been doing inconsistent and whatnot. I feel like I know what you're talking about. There's always gonna be another YouTube channel on top though. It usually changes from year to year. YouTube will never die, don't worry. Happy Me said top 10 YouTube channels that should close down. Oh, that's savage. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate if I do that video, but I kinda want to. Do you want that video? I feel like that's a good idea. Influencers. You love to hate them. Maybe it's the idea that we all secretly want to live a life where our job allows us to travel to exotic places and be given expensive products and clothes for free. So when we find out that an influencer was lying or pretending to be something they're not, we revel in it. You asked for it, I'm serving it. You're about to hear the top 10 influencers exposed for living fake lives part 2. Welcome back to another IO Top 10. I'm Charlotte, and on this channel we bring you all the biggest viral news updates with a sprinkling of daily top 10s. Subscribe and turn on the bell, follow us on social media, and stick around until the end of the video for some bloopers. Now you guys loved my first video on the top 10 influencers exposed for living fake lives, and honestly there are quite a lot. Enough for me to do a part 2, so let's get into this roast fest, shall we? In at 10, Casey Sosnowski. Now this one isn't a big deal to me, which is why it isn't higher on our list, but it's a prime example of how easy it is for an influencer to flex on you and make you feel bad about your own lack of whatever. An Instagram influencer called Casey Sosnowski posted this photo of herself hiking with the caption, "Nature is the ultimate healer to all our problems. #nature lovers." It appears like she's hiking through the woods wearing athletic gear, being all active and Photos like this make me feel fat and boring. But it turns out that Casey's photo shoot was totally staged. She wasn't hiking in the woods, she was next to some trees in her own backyard. Casey was exposed by her own sister on Twitter. Here's the tweet. "My sister says that she was going hiking. This is our backyard." This little tweet made Casey go viral, but she didn't really get upset about being called out. Don't you just love siblings? The photo is still up on her Instagram, only now the caption says, "Did I go hiking? No. Is this my backyard? Maybe." Well played, Casey, well played. In at number 9, Amelia Leon. Liana. Amelia Liana was a famous travel blogger who would post pictures of herself in front of iconic destinations. She has hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers who enviously look at her seemingly amazing lifestyle. I mean, getting to travel anywhere you want is pretty much everyone's dream life. But Amelia was actually exposed back in July of 2017 thanks to one photo that shows her in front of the New York skyline with the caption, "What a welcome to NYC, hashtag top of the rock." This photo made it seem like she was standing at the top of the Rockefeller Center, which overlooks the New York skyline. I actually prefer going to Rockefeller over the Empire State Building when I'm in New York because you can actually get a view of the Empire State Building. Way better for photos. But Amelia Liana wasn't at the top of the rock. In reality, she was probably in front of a green screen. How did people know this? Because she used a stock image of the Empire State Building that didn't have the Freedom Tower in it. Once she was exposed for this picture, people started to pick apart every single one of her photos. And it just seems like she's taking photos of herself and then just superimposing pictures of iconic destinations. This is actually pretty easy to do with Photoshop. You just need a well-lit, sharp image of yourself, and then you need a sharp image of the background. You can stitch the photos together quite easily. Pop on a filter and boom, the more you know. Sliding into number 8, we got Johanna Olsen. Johanna has 533,000 Instagram followers, and she's also a travel blogger. Honestly, I'm looking at her feed and it's like, damn, she really does have the perfect life, doesn't she? But is it real? Well, some photos are probably real, but there are many that are faked. They are too good to be real. Johanna was exposed back in December of 2019 for superimposing herself in front of iconic travel spots in Paris. If you look closely at her photos, many of them have pretty bad stitching. She responded to the criticism online and said that she really was at those iconic Parisian spots, but she took separate photos, one of the background and one of her, and then stitched them together. This was one of her captions where she admitted to it. "Guys, I was in Paris at this restaurant. They seated me at a table with no view. I really wanted a picture with the best view to get that perfect Paris vibe to inspire you guys. So instead of complaining to the staff about where they seated me, I simply took a picture of the background that I wanted from a better table and photoshopped it." Really? To inspire me? Or to make it seem like you have a way better life than you do? Guys, come on, Instagram is not real! Nothing is real! At number 7, Whoa Vicky. Whoa Vicky, aka Victoria Waldrip, is an Instagram star based out of Atlanta who has famously claimed to be African American, yet she's very white. Her videos also make a mockery of African American slang and lifestyle. But Whoa Vicky's been exposed time and time again for being nothing more than an actress who's really good at making funny videos. Whoa Vicky is a character. She's been caught on camera breaking character many times. Furthermore, Vicky claims to be from a poor background, essentially from the hood, when it turns out that Victoria Waldrip is the daughter of successful home building entrepreneur Steve Waldrip. She did not grow up living in poverty, she grew up a privileged white girl. Regardless, Whoa Vicky is breaking it in. She likely has a multi-million-dollar deal with Fashion Nova because she's often repping their brand in her posts. Do you guys remember those free iPhone videos too? Oh my god, they were so annoying. I am so glad she stopped that. Regardless, I actually think she's pretty funny, but she's still offensive in her own way. In at 6, Tiffany Mitchell. Tiffany Mitchell is a lifestyle blogger with 215,000 followers. Back in August of 2019, she came under fire for staging a motorcycle accident for likes. I mean, it's pretty weird that she took beautiful photos of a pretend motorcycle accident that show her lying on the road and being rescued by some male model that just happened to be there. So Tiffany said at the time that she did get into a motorcycle accident 2 weeks before the post. She said it was a very traumatic experience that left her shaken up. She also said she was thrown off her bike and helped by strangers. At first the post got a ton of nice get well soon comments and thousands upon thousands of likes. But then the mean comments started rolling in. It was all too convenient. How is it that she so happened to have a photographer on hand to take stunning photographs of her motorcycle accident? She was also wearing completely inappropriate clothing for riding a motorcycle, and her motorcycle was standing up in the photos. To make matters worse, there was a conveniently placed smart water bottle in some of the photos, leading some people to believe that it was a paid sponsorship done in very poor taste. Tiffany defended herself and said she didn't know that her photographer was taking photos of her, and maintains to this day that the post she made was well intentioned. Halfway there now, at number 5, Elle Darby. This scandal changed the way influencers approach brands forever. So back in January of 2018, the owner of the White Moose Cafe in Dublin, Paul Stenson, posted an email sent to him from Elle Darby, but her name was redacted. It read as follows: "Hi there, I hope this email finds you well. I'm emailing in regards to a possible collaboration on social media. My name is blank. I work as a social media influencer, mainly lifestyle, beauty, and travel based." She goes on to say that her and her partner are planning a trip to Dublin for an early Valentine's Day weekend, and she asks for a free stay at the White Moose Cafe Hotel in exchange for posts on social media. Now I know a lot of influencers who do this. They reach out to brands they like and then they share their media kit, etc. This is how you start brand relationships. But the The way Elle went about this is pretty unprofessional. When she was denied her request, she wrote negative reviews on their Facebook page and then made a YouTube video where she played the victim, alleging that the White Moose Cafe exposed her with malicious intent, yet they never shared her name in the post. The White Moose Cafe is also not a big company, it's a small business that can't afford to give an influencer a free stay in their hotel. Needless to say, the owner of the White Moose Cafe was absolutely livid, yo, and he banned all bloggers from his hotel. In a Facebook post, Paul Stenson said, "The sense of entitlement is just too strong in the blogging community, and the nastiness, hissy fits, and general hate displayed after one of your members was not granted her request for a freebie is giving your whole industry a bad name. I never thought I would be inundated with negative reviews for the simple reason that somebody was required to pay for goods received or services rendered." In at 4, Logan Paul. Back in November of 2016, Logan Paul posted a video called "These Glasses Cured My Colorblindness." It has 28 million views at the time of this recording. In the video, he says that he bought special glasses, endochroma glasses, that miraculously allowed him to see color. Logan got a lot of hate for this video, and people went on Reddit to expose him for lying about being colorblind. There are actually a lot of people who are affected by colorblindness, particularly men. First of all, endochroma glasses do not work instantly, you've got to wear them for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Yet Logan Paul reacted to seeing colors almost instantly after putting the glasses on. And they don't cure colorblindness, they just enhance certain colors. Logan Paul actually ended up admitting in another video the truth about my colorblindness, that he quote embellished a lot of what he said for views. He said he exaggerated his reactions in order to create an amazing piece of content that showed what it means to be colorblind, right? Getting close now at number 3, Lil Bow Wow. Oh, Lil Bow Wow, aka Shad Moss. Lil Bow Wow was everywhere in the 90s, but lately things haven't been as poppin' for Shad. Back in 2017, he posted this photo on Instagram of a private jet with the caption, "Travel Day, NYC press run for growing up hip hop. Let's go." Sounds like Landon. Pretty standard celebrity flex if you ask me, so most people didn't think anything of it. Of course, until someone who was on a standard commercial flight at the same time as Lil Bow Wow posted this tweet. "So this guy Lil Bow Wow was on my flight to New York, but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet captioned, 'Traveling to New York today.' It turns out that the photo that Lil Bow Wow posted was actually a stock photo of a private plane used by a Fort Lauderdale limousine company. Bow Wow saved the image, put on a filter, then posted it to Instagram. This little stunt actually started a challenge. It was called the Bow Wow Challenge, where people would post photos with seemingly glamorous representations of their posh lifestyles, and then they also showed the harsh reality in the second picture. In at 2, Trisha Paytas. I honestly don't know why Trisha wasn't on my first list, but she made it to the top of this one, so here we go. Trisha Paytas has been exposed time and time again for pretending to be something that she's not. She's literally made a living off of crying wolf. Just in the last few years, Trisha has announced that she's gay, bisexual, and most recently she announced that she identifies as a transgender man. The same Trisha Paytas who says that she identifies as a chicken nugget. Trisha was epically exposed in 2019 by Ethan Klein of H3H3 on his podcast, where he called her out for her excessive use of Photoshop, saying that it was harming young girls. Trisha was the main focal point of H3H3's video Instagram vs. Reality, where he would show edited pictures of Trisha next to photos that show her real face, and she looks pretty much unrecognizable and not like the same person at all. Trisha lost thousands of followers and subscribers over the H3H3 feud, and her antics constantly earn her the reputation of being someone who just lies for attention. I mean, in all fairness, she's pretty good at it, isn't she? And at number 1 on our list, Sarah McDaniel. Sarah McDaniel is a model who's different from other models. She's got one blue, green eye and one brown eye. This condition is called heterochromia. It's a rare condition that can result in abnormal irises. Kate Bosworth is a good example of a celebrity who has heterochromia. Sarah says that she was bullied growing up for her condition, which has now become her calling card. But guess what? She doesn't have heterochromia and has exposed for faking the condition. We know this because Sarah's eye color changes. Sometimes it's a darker shade of blue and other times it's a bright turquoise. And you can also clearly see her contacts in many close-up photos. Oh yeah, and the Instagram account CelebFace has posted a photo of her when she was a child where she has 2 matching brown irises. Sarah McDaniel has represented many brands. She's been a Playboy cover model. Her different colored eyes are a marketing tool for herself. She's that poor girl that was bullied growing up who now has made her abnormality a career. But it's all a sham. When the former Playboy creative director found out that Sarah McDaniel was not who she claimed to be, a down-to-earth girl with authenticity, he was not pleased. Mac Lewis said at the time, the whole thing around the rebrand was literally to get rid of retouching and have a model who was more natural looking and authentic. That's the reason she was picked. Also saying that Sarah McDaniel undercut everything they'd been saying about her. Nevertheless, Sarah McDaniel continues to masquerade as someone she's not, arguing that her eyes look different in different types of light. Okay. You can clearly see from this photo here though that that's a lie. There are even entire Instagram accounts made to expose her, like Sarah McDaniel Lies. Alright guys, that was a whopper of a list. Did I miss anyone? Tell me your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and while you do that, I'm gonna respond to some comments from part 1. MD8641 said, why all women? Men can be fake. Sure they can, but I feel like when I think of an influencer, I think of women. Maria said, you're kinjit. That's not a word. Teresa Simpson said, I'm surprised Trisha Payton wasn't on your list. She seems like a crazy scam artist to me. Yes, she was on this list though, but Trisha Paytas wasn't on this list. Amber Shelton said, now back to living my fake life. Me too. Anybody got some Facetune they want to let me use? Let me make this a little smaller. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Stick around for some bloopers after this video, and leave a like if you enjoyed your time here. Subscribe if you want more, and I will see you in a future IO video. I got some bloops. I got some bloops for you guys. Oh goodness. Throwing up. I'm gonna throw up.
There's so much to this story, and I'm going to give you guys every single intimate detail of it on this specific case, this specific instance, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Jake Paul and who he is as a person.
Obviously, living in LA and being in the scene, you see a lot of things behind closed doors that you don't see on camera.
Nobody can play themselves better than Shad Moss can play himself. If there's one thing on this planet Shad Moss is good at, it's playing himself.
Influencers seem to have it all, the money, the fame, they just overall live the best life, but that's something followers seem to forget. A lot of it is actually manufactured. A lot of it is for clout, and unfortunately a lot of it isn't what it seems. And that's exactly what's inspired today's list on InformOverload. Hey guys, what's going down? I'm your host Jared Bronstein, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 influencers exposed for living fake lives, Guy Edition. If you haven't seen some of our other top 10 influencer lists, be sure to check them out after this one. We got some bloopers and comment replies coming up at the end of this video, so stick around, and before we get into it, let me know in the comments below who you think should be on this list. Alright, let's go for it. Coming in at number 10, we got Dan Bilzerian. This guy is the epitome of a bro. Always surrounded by girls, jacked out of his mind, with tons of money. It seems like if a frat could be morphed into a person, it'd be Dan. But it seems when Dan first came onto the scene, people thought the playboy was a big shot poker player who was completely self-made. After a few months of his charades, it was then revealed he made his fortune because his dad was actually quite well off. Long story short, because it is quite a long story, Dan's father, Paul Bilzerian, has done some shady things in the past. He allegedly owes the government tens of millions of dollars, but simply doesn't have the money to pay them. He's been in jail before for fraud, and has been in a legal battle for decades. Although Dan has admitted his father somewhat helped him get his start, he claims he's made majority of his money playing poker. We're talking an easy 50 million, which, I mean, okay, if you say so. I'm sure he's a good poker player, but like, if you're making an easy 50 million, wouldn't that make you one of the best in the world? Like, shouldn't you be competing at the World Series of Poker every year and winning it? I don't know, just a thought. Coming at number 9, Jay Alvarez. I feel like Jay was one of the first real influencers in the game, at least that I was aware of. For those of you who don't know who Jay is, he was dating Alexis Red. The two of them seemed to travel the world together and were the best looking couple known to the human race. All kidding aside, it seemed like their life was perfect until it wasn't. They had a pretty rough breakup, deleted all their pictures together, which at the time was majority of their Instagram feeds, and then the truth came out. Red claimed that the relationship was extremely unhealthy, even though they seemed to be endlessly in love in every photo, and that Jay was emotionally abusive, especially about her weight. So maybe he isn't the dream guy every girl wished they had, even though it may seem that way, which gives me a chance, because it's not all about looks, guys. Apparently Jay's an I'm not. Yeah, I am. And at number 8, we got fitness influencer Shan Heffley. This man actually exposed himself for the greater good, of course. Heffley is jacked, no doubt about that. But like all influencers, he too tends to edit most of his posts. Whether it's to make his muscles look more defined or to add some coloring to his photos, he's guilty as we all are. But Shan decided one day he was going to show the real him, so he uploaded a photo side by side on his Instagram. On one side was the original photo with the text "no edit" captioned. On the other side was a clearly edited photo where Shan looks much more defined, captioned edited. The photo itself had a nice heartfelt caption as well, talking about how he edits his photos because he's an artist and enjoys creating. He caps it off with, "Remember, as you look through your Instagram feed and compare yourself to other bodies 99% of the time, that's not how they look in real life." That is very true. I edit myself on Instagram, I won't lie. I mean, I make myself like a little more tan sometimes, but other than that, I make like colors pop, I guess, but I'm not that much of a, I don't make my muscles more defined because I'm already jacked. Not joking. At number 7, we got Hush Puppy. One of Nigeria's biggest influencers got exposed by one of his closest friends. Another influencer who goes by the name of Mumfa claimed Hush Puppy, who's known for flaunting his luxurious lifestyle on Instagram, wearing only designer and standing in front of luxurious cars, was a fake. Mumfa called out Hush Puppy, who's a self-proclaimed billionaire, saying he doesn't have the money he acts like he has. His father is a cab driver, his mother is a baker, and when he came to Dubai, Hush Puppy had to stay with Mumfa because he couldn't afford to stay anywhere. Hush Puppy was also making headlines regarding a scam that people claimed he was a part of. But it seems as of now, Mumfa is dealing with some legal troubles himself and got his Instagram account deactivated. So I guess what goes around comes around? I don't really know. Because I mean, he kind of exposed Hush Puppy for being like a fake, but I don't know, like, is he a fake or does he have money? Who knows really? He looks rich. In at number 6, we got TBH Byron. Byron Denton is the man's name, and he's an influencer that actually did a social experiment. He faked being on a private jet, going to the Louis Vuitton store, you know, the common influencer stuff. And the photos were incredibly well edited, to the point that some of Byron's family and friends were questioning where he suddenly obtained his newfound fortune. However, it was all for a YouTube video for Byron to pretty much expose how easy it is to be an influencer. While he was posting these photos, he claimed his engagement shot up, with his comments and likes hitting numbers he'd never seen before previously. We're talking like 4 figures. Which like might not seem a lot, but like, I don't know, I think 1,000 likes is crazy. Coming in at number 5, we got Jake Paul. Seems like this guy tends to make every list one way or another. Jake lied and accused FaZe Banks of assaulting his assistant at a club. The story here was Jake and a few Team 10 members, including assistant Meg, says that Banks clotheslined her and left a bruise on her neck. Initially, FaZe apologized, saying he didn't remember even seeing her, but if he did do that, he's sorry. Then Jake and some Team 10 members dropped a video manipulating FaZe's DMs and making it seem like Banks was the one who reached out to apologize in the first place. Banks then had some friends come forward and explain what happened, which poked holes in the Team 10 story. Jake then backtracked and the two of them decided to handle their business off of YouTube. I'm gonna say they settled on an arrangement for Banks to get paid because he was going to sue Jake for defamation among other stuff. But I just watched a video of them like together, like hanging out, so I guess they said they squashed the beef in the video. I don't really understand what this whole YouTube drama is. Maybe it was all fabricated for views. I really don't know. Just remember guys, you can't trust everything you see on the internet. I'm not this ugly in person. In at number 4, Cole Carrigan, or is it Carrigan? I never really know how to say the guy's name. Now this guy is really a piece of work. Cole accused Austin McBroom of the Ace family of some very heavy accusations. We're talking about sexual assault, but it wouldn't be long before the truth really came out. Now I will say we still don't know what actually happened, but what I do know is Cole posted a video dropping these accusations on Austin. Then there were text messages sent from Cole to one of the alleged victims, with Cole literally saying the Ace family has a lot of money, so they'll pay him to keep his mouth shut and he'll split the money with the alleged victims. Buddy, it's just such a bad look. Just don't do that. I certainly hope the allegations aren't true. I'm sure the matter is being handled outside of YouTube as it should, but Cole lost a lot of credibility following that incident. Number 3, Another Beautiful Day. This is a joint Instagram account featuring Catalin Onk and Elena Engelhardt. God damn, these names are so hard to say. They got photos of the two of them looking all lovey-dovey in Bali, France, Italy, you know, the classic influencer spots. It looked like they got paid to travel the world and live the best life ever. You know, classic influencer lifestyle. Then they posted a GoFundMe campaign to raise about 10,000 euro for their next trip. That seemed kinda odd. Then they shared the campaign on Facebook where they explained they don't work and Onk's mother works 2 jobs to fund their trips. Their plan definitely didn't work out in their favor and they lost a ton of respect, with most comments involving donating money to help the guy's mother instead. Side note guys, maybe don't believe everything you see on Instagram. People's lives really aren't all that great all the time, and that's just the way it goes. I also don't know if I said Bali right. Maybe I said it wrong. Is it Bali? No, it's Bali. I went to Bali. Bali. I think it's Bali. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments. In at number 2, Bow Wow. I mean, how can we forget about the Bow Wow challenge? For those of you guys that don't remember, Bow Wow posted a photo to his Instagram of a private jet and a few Mercedes parked in front of that jet. He made it seem like that was his plane and he was traveling to New York for his next show in style. Until he wasn't. Turns out the photo he used was from the header of a website, and someone actually took a Snapchat photo of Bow Wow sitting on the same plane as him. This quickly took the internet by storm, with people all over doing the Bow Wow challenge. They'd pretty much manipulate a photo to make it look like something else, and then show a second photo of what's really happening. Just be real guys, some people might hate you, but at least you can't get exposed if you're just genuine and truthful. Like I won't lie, I'm a little different on camera, but for the most part, if you met me in person, you'd be like, oh, you're pretty much the same guy. I talk a little different on camera, like more energetic and but I'm not gonna be like, and at number 1, of course, that's boring. No one wants to see that. And in at number 1, of course, he's going to top of our list, Tekashi69. I mean, are you guys really surprised he's on this list? You probably are. For those of you who need their memory refreshed, Tekashi69 pretty much built his career pretending to be a part of the Bloods in New York City. He'd include real members of the gang in his music videos, start online beef with other rappers claiming they aren't real like him, and pretty much portrayed that he was a true member of the Bloods. And then he got arrested and the truth came out. He fully admitted he wasn't a part of the Bloods, he was paying for them to protect him and help his street credit, and pretty much give him the career he had. And now that he's exposed who knows how many of these guys, I really fear for his life. But I mean, I don't know, you play with fire, like you're gonna get burned, you know? So if something does happen to him, don't be too surprised. I'm not saying I hope something happens to him. I never wish harm on anybody. I There's a couple people actually. And there you guys have it for the top 10 influencers exposed for living fake lives, Guy edition. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this list in the comments down below. We got some comment replies followed up by some bloopers now, so let's see what we got. In the video, The Untold Truth of Danielle Bregoli, Woodstock said, "You lost me in the first 5 seconds when you said everyone's favorite." What if I said everyone's favorite person to hate? I said everyone's favorite young rap star or whatever I said. I don't even remember what I say. I don't remember what I say half the time. I know what I'm saying right now. Laney Bug said, "Now you have to do a video on the top 10 times Randy Jackson said, it's gonna be a no for me, dog." I might just make one on my own channel. Straight up, I'll just, straight up, like, Randy was the that's what he was. Cause Simon was always like a Paula was like, "Oh, you're so good even though you're bad." And Randy was like, dog, dog, you're just, you got something, but, you know, dog, you know, I love you, but it's gonna be a no for me, dog.